dudes, what's up? So, been kind of busy the last couple of weeks, so I haven't really put out any videos or anything like that. I haven't really done anything here in the last couple of weeks. I've been just stupidly busy with a bunch of stuff lately. I've just been crazy busy at work, crazy busy on the weekends. Last weekend, buddy of mine, we went out, tried to do some salmon fishing. Fish just, I don't know if we were too early or a little too late for the river we hit up, but I have some B-roll of that. Hopefully going to be going out salmon fishing again before the end of the year, before the end of all the salmon runs and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to actually get together and put together a decent salmon video for you. So this video today, you've seen the title. It's going to be Turkey Calling 101 with a diaphragm. So I've been thinking about doing this video now for quite a while. Excuse me. I absolutely love turkey hunting. There is, in my opinion, it is just a huge adrenaline rush. Turkey hunting, calling turkeys, letting them respond back. I would liken it to the adrenaline rush that people get when they're elk hunting, hearing the bull bugle back and just stuff like that. It's very similar. It's awesome. I love it. I mean, if I knew where there was turkeys and I could consistently get on turkeys all the time out here, I would turkey hunt all the time. I would literally, any chance I could get, if I knew where turkeys were and had a good chance to get on the turkeys every week and weekend, whenever I could go hunt, I would totally 100% turkey hunt. I just don't know where the turkeys are. Well, they're in Eastern Washington, and I just don't have the time to be able to go out to Eastern Washington to go turkey hunt. There are some turkey flocks around my area, but they're few and far between, and trying to find them is just, it's like trying to find freaking, it's just trying to find a needle in a haystack. So anyways, so I'm going to apologize for one, because I do not have any turkey reeds, mouth calls. I do have some elk reeds. You can turkey call on an elk reed. However, it's not going to sound the best, and it's not going to sound quite like it would if you had a turkey call. So with a reed call, any reed call you use, elk, turkey, anything like that, if you've never used one, it's a huge learning curve. It'll tickle the roof of your mouth. If you have a real bad gag reflex, you might gag on it. Sorry, didn't mean to swear. You might gag on it. Anything like that. It's just kind of awkward to get used to. Like I said, this is a elk reed. It's not going to sound the best. Biggest things I've seen people do while turkey calling, using a reed, not an elk reed, using a diaphragm, if they've never done it before, is too much mouth movement. They try to just open their mouth to try to make the sound they're making. You don't really have to do that. I hardly move my mouth when I'm calling turkeys. It's all in tongue pressure and your exhale pressure with how hard you breathe out while you're doing it. It's one of these skills that it's a booger to get down, but once you do, you're golden. So like I said, it's all tongue pressure for me, and then I'll also kind of walk you through how to gobble using the diaphragm. And for me, I always solo hunted. I rarely went with someone else. So for me, using a diaphragm call was the way to go because it kept my hands free and it limited the movement. So instead of sitting behind a, you know, with my back up against a tree, sitting there scratching away at a slate call or using a box call, anything like that, the diaphragm to me was just easier because I could have my gun pretty much ready to go, still being able to communicate and talk to these turkeys to get them to come in closer. And so the way I do it, you know, other people might teach you different, learn different. There's other YouTube videos out there on this, but this is the type of kind of call sequence I go through. I do kind of some clucks, a couple purrs, and then I'll actually go into the hen call, and then I'll hit it with a gobble. I'm not going to do the gobble right now. I'm going to do that towards the end of this video, but like I said, please forgive me. This is an elk reed, so it's not going to sound the best, and I'm a little out of practice because I haven't turkey hunted in quite some time. So it may not sound the best. It may sound just horrific. So bear with me. It'll come back to me here, and it's like riding a bike. So kind of the call sequence I go through is I'll take for clucks. You want to sound like a turkey, you know, cluck. So and then you go to the yelps and purrs and stuff like that. So for this, like if you're clucking, so for that, I'm basically just flicking my tongue across the reed on this while exhaling fairly hard. You don't want it to be like way hard and have it sound just weird, but you want to sound like you're clucking. And then you got like kind of a purr. Sorry, that's kind of more of a cluck. I'm totally spacing out on what I'm trying to do. So it's kind of a, well, we'll just kind of call it a yelp, I guess, would be the technical term for it. And then you go right into their normal turkey call, you know, the hen call, which I kind of did towards the end there. So if you go for the purr, it's that's more of the purr. So, like I said, I'm a little out of practice, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But then if you go straight into the actual hen call, it works really good. So that is simply so that's kind of like the thing I would do. Is kind of work it back and forth. It really helps when there's when you got birds in front of you. If you kind of hear what the hens are doing, and especially if the hens are fired up and that's getting the tom fired up and he's gobbling, you can kind of hear what he's wanting to hear, and you can base your calling off of that. But if you're blind calling, that sequence that I just did, sorry, my phone is just bouncing all over the place because of this road. That sequence that I just did, probably 90% success rate. You're gonna get birds' attention. Now then, after that, you want to go into a gobble. Now, gobbling is really hard to do. Well, it's not hard. It's really easy to do, but it's really hard to be consistent with it because you don't want to overcall, but you don't want to undercall either. So, like for me, I've shot some toms that have just been stubborn as a mule, okay? And I was able to get them to gobble. And usually if you can get them to gobble, you're gonna get them to come to you. But it depends how stubborn they are. And I've had some birds where it took 45 minutes of calling, not consistent calling, but 45 minutes of calling to be able to get that bird into me. And that was picking up, moving, sneaking through the trees, doing all kinds of stuff just to get close to them. But usually if you can get them to gobble, you have their attention and they're gonna come looking for you. So what you wanna do if you're trying to gobble is there's two sounds that you wanna try to make. You can either say choo-choo, like what a ballerina wears, or you can say choo-choo, like a train. So, and you're gonna say that as pretty much as fast as you can. So, if you, when you're doing it, like without the reading, you can hear it, you know, it's kind of like that, which, I mean, even without the reading, you can kind of hear the gobble sound with me doing that. So with the read in, and the other thing you want to do too is you want to try to relax your cheeks. It's really, this is the hard part of it, is trying to relax your cheeks and your mouth enough to kind of let it happen. And this is going to sound absolutely horrific because this is an elk read, but you'll get the idea. So if you're gobbling, something like that. So what I do, and this is like my dynamite go-to, every time I've shot a tom, this was my go-to sequence. It was literally wait a second. And that was that. So, like I said, turkey calling is really, it takes practice. And like what I would do when I was trying to really get the hang of turkey calling with a diaphragm, I would literally practice on my way to work in the truck, on my way to school, anything I could. But whatever you do, do not practice on live birds because you're only going to educate the living snot out of them. So, like with this, practice in your car, practice in your truck, practice on the way to school, practice on the way to work, anything like that you can do. If you're scouting birds, don't call while you're scouting, anything like that. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea. You'll educate the living crap out of them. But hopefully you guys learn something from this. Like I said, I'm not the expert on this. That's just how I did it and learned. I self-taught myself how to do this, and I have shot probably in the years that I hunted, I turkey hunted basically from the time I was like 14 till I joined the Army, so 19. I shot probably close to 10 birds. So that's a bird a year, and then towards the tail end there before I joined the Army, we were allowed to shoot 2 birds a year in the spring. I was shooting 2 every spring, just about every spring. So, and the biggest one I shot was 21 pounds. It had a 10.5-inch beard, an 1 3/4 spurs. That thing was a hog, and that's just what I did. I just used the diaphragm calls and decoys, and that's it. So, if you have any questions about that, leave a comment. If you could, like, subscribe, share this thing. I'm trying to grow this thing. Hope you guys enjoyed, and y'all have a good day. Stay safe.